All right, good afternoon, everyone. This meeting is called to order. Mr. Troman, has anyone signed up for public comment? Thank you, Mr. Troman. All right. Agenda item 3, no cases to reconsider.
Correct, no cases.
Under agenda item 4, these are tax liability cases. We have 3 cases on docket 6.
For the record, Daniel, Special Program Appeals. That is correct, Chairman Daniel. There are 3 tax liability cases on docket 6. The first case number is TD-23-046-0723. Commissioner Esparza.
We agree with the recommendation.
Commissioner Trevino.
Agree with staff's recommendation.
Chairman Daniel.
Agree with staff recommendation.
The second case number is TD-24-055-1124. Commissioner Esparza.
Agree with the recommendation.
Commissioner Trevino.
Agree with staff's recommendation.
And Chairman Daniel.
Agree with staff recommendation.
The third and last case number is TD-24-067-1224. Commissioner Esparza.
Agree with the recommendation.
Commissioner Trevino.
Agree with staff's recommendation.
And Chairman Daniel.
Agree with staff recommendation.
Thank you. That concludes tax liability cases on this docket.
Thank you. We have nothing on agenda item 5, nothing on agenda item 6. On agenda item 7, this wage claim cases. We have no wage claim cases pulled for additional discussion on docket 6.
That is correct. None pulled for additional discussion, but you should have received the wage claim short form dissent list for docket 6.
I move we accept staff recommendations on the remaining wage claim cases on docket 6.
I second the motion except for those cases which I am dissenting as reflected on wage claim short form dissent list for docket 6.
I concur with the chairman's motion except for the cases on which I'm dissenting as reflected in wage claim short form dissent list for docket 6.
Motion passes with the exceptions noted. Let's move then to agenda item 8 in consideration of unemployment insurance cases. Please proceed when you're ready.
Case number 3078826, Commissioner Esparza.
The AT decision is not supportable. Just as in many prior similar cases involving this employer, the employer's Rule 16 request should be held timely. We should find that the employer had good cause to miss the first hearing. We should also find the employer's first appeal timely. There is evidence in the record indicating that the employer's protest should be held timely and that the employer's account should be protected from chargeback. Accordingly, we should hold the employer's Rule 16 reopening request timely and find that the employer had good cause to miss the first hearing, find the employer's appeal from the initial determination timely, and resubmit the case on timeliness, protest, and chargeback issues.
As I have voted in the previous cases involving this employer and the same issues, the decision should be affirmed. The AT1 decision was mailed to the employer's address of record, and the employer offered no arguments as to why they filed a late petition to reopen. There is no good cause exception to the timeliness rules. Therefore, the petition to reopen should be dismissed as late. Affirm the AT, late petition to reopen, late employer appeal, late protest to the notice of maximum potential chargeback. Employer's account remains charged.
Timely petition to reopen, good cause, timely appeal, resubmit.
We'll resubmit the case.
Case number 3086819, Commissioner Esparza.
The AT decision is not supportable. As with previous case, the employer's Rule 16 request should be held timely. We should find that the employer had good cause to miss the first hearing. We should also find the employer's first appeal timely. There is evidence in the record indicating that the employer's protest should be held timely and that the employer's account should be protected from chargeback. Accordingly, we should hold the employer's Rule 16 reopening request timely, find that the employer had good cause to miss the first hearing, find the employer appeal from the initial determination timely, and resubmit the case on timeliness, protest, and chargeback issues.
As in the prior case, the decision should be affirmed. The AT1 decision was mailed to the employer's address of record, and the employer offered no arguments as to why they filed a late petition to reopen. There is no good cause exceptions to the timeliness rules. Therefore, the petition to reopen should be dismissed as late. Affirm the AT, late petition to reopen, late employer appeal, late protest to the notice of maximum potential chargeback. Employer's account remains charged.
Timely petition to reopen, good cause, timely appeal, resubmit.
We will resubmit the case.
Case number 3588947, Commissioner Trevino.
The AT decision is not supportable. The claimant was a driver and was fired because he inadvertently mixed two packages that were supposed to be delivered in with other packages that he had picked up. He then indicated that the delivery packages were not in his vehicle because he was unaware of them due to the mix-up. The claimant had received no prior warnings, and there is no indication that the claimant's actions were anything more than an honest, isolated mistake. Since the commission precedent holds that occasional errors do not constitute misconduct unless the claimant fails to exercise due care, the claimant was discharged for reasons other than misconduct connected with the work. Reverse the AT, no misconduct.
We should affirm the AT decision. The claimant was terminated for violating the employer's package delivery policy. Although the claimant alleged that his failure to deliver the customer package was due to a mistake, the claimant had sufficient time to rectify or discover that the packages were undelivered. Since the claimant failed to take affirmative steps to rectify the error concerning the miscoded packages, claimant's conduct constituted work-connected misconduct. As such, we should affirm the AT decision of misconduct.
No misconduct.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir.
Case number 3661455, Commissioner Esparza.
The AT decision should be reversed. The claimant signed a letter of reasonable assurance with the named employer. However, the claimant quit her job for personal reasons only a few days before her job was set to resume. Since the employer intended for the working relationship to continue, and because the claimant resigned for personal reasons before her job was set to continue, she quit without work-connected good cause. We should therefore reverse the AT decision, reimbursing employer not billed.
The AT decision is correct. The claimant worked for the employer as a school bus driver. After the 2022 school year ended, the claimant was given additional work to perform over the summer break from 6/1/22 to 7/1/22. However, the employer then did not have any more work for the claimant after 7/1/22 until the start of the new school year. Therefore, the claimant was separated for lack of work after 7/1/22, leaving the employer liable to be billed and for any benefits paid to the claimant based on the wage credits from the employer. Affirm, bill reimbursing employer.
Reimbursing employer not billed.
Short form dissent.
Yes, sir.
Case number 3690680, Commissioner Trevino.
The AT decision should be reversed. The claimant failed to file timely claim certifications due to the first commission misinformation, and then due to the inability to reach a commission representative to resume filing. The claimant was instructed that he should not file a claim certification while receiving severance pay, rather than being instructed to file the claims timely and report the payments. Then, when the claimant's severance pay ended, he had to contact a commission representative to regain filing access, and was unable to do so because of issues with the commission's phone system. Since the filing of the claims were delayed by the commission, despite the claimant's best efforts, the claimant should not be held ineligible for failing to file a timely claim certification. Reverse the AT, filing eligible.
We should affirm the AT decision. The claimant filed payment request for the first 4 weeks of his claim. Then he chose to stop filing claim certifications after receiving severance pay determination, informing him that he was not entitled to benefits for a certain period of time. Because the claimant failed to follow the filing instructions and filed late payment requests, the ineligibility is appropriate. Affirm the AT decision, filing not eligible October 1st of 23 to November 25th of 2023.
The claimant should remain ineligible for the time period that he chose not to request benefit payments, but the ineligibility period should be terminated as of the date that the claimant started to make a diligent attempt to file as instructed. Modify the AT, filing not eligible October 1st, 2023 through November 4th, 2023.
Ma'am, I'll agree with the chair.
Thank you, sir.
Short form sent.
Yes, sir.
Case number 3691785, Commissioner Esparza.
We should reverse the AT decision. The claimant violated the employer's policy and a prior warning when he failed to take the required 30-minute lunch break. The employer stated that the claimant violated the policy on multiple days. The claimant disagreed with the employer's dates, but admitted to not clocking out for lunch on at least one occasion. Because the claimant had been previously warned about his behavior, his repeated violation constituted misconduct connected with the work. We should therefore reverse the AT decision, misconduct, no chargeback, adequate employer response. In the alternative, fellow commissioners have doubts, we could grant a rehearing in this case for submission of review of the claimant's time records for the days in question. Therefore, rehear.
The AT decision is correct. The employer discharged the claimant for not taking his mandatory lunch break on several occasions. The claimant provided sworn firsthand testimony denying the employer's allegations, testifying that he only failed to take a lunch break or lunch once when the workload did not allow him to take a break, and the employer failed to provide any documentary evidence. Therefore, the employer did not meet its burden of proving that the claimant was discharged for misconduct connected with the work. Affirm the AT, no misconduct, chargeback.
Rehear.
We will rehear the case.
Case number 3695153, Commissioner Esparza.
We should reverse the AT decision on timeliness. I disagree that the employer sat idly by for an extended period of time. The employer has consistently maintained that it did not receive the determination in question. The employer first became aware of the matter when it reviewed its tax notice in December of 2023 and promptly contacted TWC. Despite multiple attempts to resolve technical issues with the online appeal portal, the employer faxed its appeal in December, the same month it learned of the determination. Thus, because the employer provided credible and persuasive evidence of non-receipt, we should deem the employer's appeal timely. Reverse the AT decision, timely employer appeal, resubmit the case for merits testimony.
The AT decision is correct. The initial determination was mailed to the employer's correct address of record, and the employer's appeal to the initial determination was filed more than 2 months late. While the employer alleged non-receipt of the determination, they provided no details regarding their mail handling procedures and admitted that they did not report any mail delivery issues to the USPS. Since there is no good cause exception to the timeliness rules, the commission doesn't consider the underlying merits due to the employer's late appeal. Affirm the AT, late employer's appeal, no voluntary leaving, chargeback.
Timely appeal, resubmit.
We will resubmit the case. And that was the last unemployment insurance case pulled for additional discussion on docket 6. You should have received the UI short form dissent list for docket 6.
I move we accept staff recommendations on the remaining UI cases on docket 6.
I second the motion except for those cases which I am dissenting as reflected on the UI short form dissent list for docket 6.
I concur with the chairman's motion, except for the cases on which I am dissenting as reflected in the UI short form dissent list for docket 6.
Motion passes with the exceptions noted.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a short recess.
No, I don't think really cut the arm. Okay. The state of the state. Next
Ready?
Ready when you are.
It's agenda item 9, expansion of the teacher externship program.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Cerna. For the record, I'm Joel Mullins with Workforce Development. In the Commission work session on November 20th, 2024, the Commission directed staff to bring forward a discussion paper with proposals for expanding the teacher externships program. Staff have developed a paper with recommendations for the expansion of externships, including expanding the pool of eligible teachers, increasing the duration of externships, increasing stipends, and adding other components to create a more robust program. Today, staff recommend approval of $4 million in WIOA statewide funding to expand the teacher externship program as described in your meeting materials. That's all I have, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any comments or questions?
None here.
No, I like this. I'm glad we looked to it. I think it hit the nail on the head. Does this expanding the weeks it does, but is this for the workforce, the local workforce boards that are I guess that are hosting these programs in their areas, or this money's available for all 28 of them if they all wanted to do it? It would be balanced to that.
Correct. The local workforce development boards are
Okay.
the eligible grantees.
But not all boards are involved in it.
Correct. Not all boards apply each year, and not all boards that apply are awarded.
Could we at some point review the folks that are taking advantage of this and see which ones aren't, and see if we can? I'll be happy to help find out if they just need a blueprint to it. I do like this program. Thank you for putting the thought into it. That's all I got.
Is there a motion?
Chairman, I move that we approve the allocation of $4 million in WIOA statewide funding for fiscal year 2026 to expand the Texas Teacher Externship Program as described in the discussion paper and recommended today by staff.
My second.
It's been moved second and motion carries. Before we leave this topic, so we had funding for fiscal year 2025 teacher externships. I understand that application period is closed. We have applications in here. I haven't seen the final on that, but at least preliminarily, I think what I was told is about half of the applicants were able to be funded with the amount of money that was available for the 2025 applications. And here's what I'm wondering. Probably the best way to do this is to ask you to bring a discussion paper to the next commission meeting with a proposal to fund any of the other applicants on that list that might not have got funded in the available funding that would have what we would consider to be a passing score on the thing. Ms. York.
Hi there. For the record, Mary York from the Workforce Development Division. Chairman, I wanted to add a point of clarification. Are you suggesting that we move forward with the awards that we can at this point and then consider bringing forward a discussion paper for the additional award.
Well, that's what I'm suggesting.
Yeah, the reason we would at least want to be able to move forward with the ones that we have in the queue right now is in order for us to execute those grant agreements and for boards to be able to identify teachers to participate. We're on kind of an expedited timeline associated with that. I do have a dollar amount available today, should the commission.
Why don't you tell me what that dollar amount is?
$970,169 would fund those applications that scored high enough to qualify.
I'm advised by council, we don't really have enough of an agenda item to hang this on today, and we need to bring this back next week. Mr. Truman, is it acceptable? Because we were going to take action on this other thing anyway, and this is outside the commission's purview. This is now lodged with the executive director, moving on the applications that have already been received and already have been scored. What we're talking about is the balance of those applications that we'd like to continue some more funding for. When's the next commission meeting? Does anybody know? Is it next week? Yeah, I think if we bring a discussion paper for this $900 or so thousand that you're talking about for the remaining eligible applicants that have already been received, I mean, 1 week's not going to make that much difference.
Thank you.
We take way too long to do everything around here anyways.
And one more point of clarification. I know we have several other items that are coming before the commission for consideration today. We are keeping a running total of what's being approved by the commission that would be funded out of WIOA statewide. While you're not making a decision regarding this $970,000 today, you may want to keep that in mind because we will be getting close to the available balance that was available for
Got it.
consideration.
No, appreciate it.
Thank you.
So next week. All right, we're done here. Anybody got any more comments?
Thank you for that.
No.
Moving on to item 10, this is the 2025 Grace Conference.
Good afternoon again. Once again, for the record, I'm Joel Mullins with Workforce Development. In the commission work session on November 20th, 2024, the commission directed staff to bring forward a discussion paper with a proposal for holding a 2025 Grace Conference. The Growth Through Reentry to Advance Careers and Employment, or GRACE Conference, has been held the past 3 years to share information with employers and the community about hiring second chance individuals. This morning, staff recommends approval of $20,000 in WIOA statewide funds to support a 2025 Grace Conference. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any comments or questions?
No comments.
No, Chairman.
Is there a motion?
Chairman, I move we approve the allocation of $20,000 in WIOA statewide funds to support the 2025 Grace Conference to promote hiring second chance individuals to Texas employers, as described in the discussion paper and recommended today by staff.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded, motion carries. This is agenda item 11, expansion of internship initiatives.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Cerna. For the record, my name is Dawn Cronin with the Workforce Development Division. In your commission meeting materials is a discussion paper on proposals for expanding the agency's internship initiatives. Staff have developed the paper with the proposals for expansion of internships, including the creation of a new career exploration internship program, modifications to the existing Texas Internship Initiative, the creation of a new foster youth internship program, and enhancements to the Texas Internship Challenge website. Today, staff recommends approval of $2,660,000 in WIOA statewide funds to expand internships as described in your meeting materials, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any comments or questions?
None here.
I have one. Regarding, let's see, bullet point 6 under expand the Texas Internship Initiative part of it, where we talk about hourly wage for internships. I'm definitely all for it. Do we have a ballpark number that we're using to support this, like the hourly wage?
We do.
2 million.
Yeah, we're looking at, you talking about a total or are you talking about an hourly rate?
A total. Let's go big number.
It's part of the 2 million that
Okay.
we're asking for this initiative. Now, currently for the current year, we have about 342,000.
Okay.
So it's about 1.6 million increase.
Okay. What I'm getting at is, thank you. Okay. First, thank you for everything here. It's great. We're putting it to a lot of, to a lot of good uses. So when we're out pushing internships and our, conference stuff, we're partnered with the Higher Education Coordinating Board with their TextWorks that already has this and that already has this program to where they're supplementing employers with their, creating that time so that they can make paid internship, which is great. They've got about, I believe about 1 million, and I think they're trying to expand it as well. Is there any opportunity that in lieu of us doing our own program to where we're funding that type of thing? And please let me know if this is mechanically frowned upon when it comes to state agency interactions. I'm not sure if it's through like a contract, or is there a way that we could partner with them as supporting the program that already existed or that already exists over at the Higher Education Coordinating Board? It's the TextWorks program.
We can definitely explore opportunities to partner. I do want to point out that the TEA program focuses primarily on universities.
TEA or higher ed?
Higher ed. They're looking at individuals that are in a 4-year program.
Okay.
4-year degree program. And we're looking at providing internship opportunities, and some of our candidates may not be pursuing a 4-year degree.
I understand. I see there's a difference in that. That answered my question. Okay. Thank you for that.
So I like the framework. I still don't think there's enough money in it. At 2 million and some change, I think we're running tight on money, and we've got some other things that we want to do. I hope we pass this today. I think you should be on the lookout for some more money based on demand. And when that money probably we owe up becomes available, I'd ask you to alert the commission so we can bring this back up for discussion to see if we want to enhance funding for this proposal. I think we've undersold it. I think we're trying to grow it. I think we're being prudent on the growth side. I think you have an excellent framework. I think you'll get it done, but I feel like we hamstring our own programs sometimes because we don't fund them in a way that lets them grow strategically. So please keep your eye on that. If more money gets returned to WIOA from other unspent grants that come back in, I'd ask you to get back on the agenda and bring that forward and see where our blood pressure is that day on increasing funding to this.
Absolutely.
Is there a motion?
One more thing. I'm sorry. On the website, and not to sound petty, I want this website to be a place that has the resources that we want to put into it. I'm excited to see, use of AI, resume builders, career coaching, mock interview stuff where that is. Is anybody married to using Challenge? And I think we've talked about this, the Texas Intern Challenge. I know that before I was here, it was more of a challenge to employers to create opportunities for that. I wanted to see or test the waters, and if we could replace Challenge with something more like not challenging to get an internship in Texas, kind of a thing that doesn't have that connote.
I don't actually remember, but I suspect that the commission voted to call it that at some point, which means the commission can probably vote to call it something else if we want to. And for whatever it's worth, I agree with you.
Yes, sir. I think we could call it whatever the
Okay.
commission directed us to call it.
Great.
Like bam.com.
Bam.
Just bam, and it's done.
I think that one might be taken.
Oh, well, then we should probably go
Yeah.
back to the drawing board. Good point.
We
All right,
could
we'll
sell
do-
energy drinks on that.
So do this. Can we pass this today?
Yes, please.
And
know.
then bring back, if there's some suggestions for rebranding the website, bring those back as soon as you can bring those back. Is there a motion?
Chairman, I move that we approve the following allocations of WIOA statewide funds to expand the agency's internship initiatives as described in the discussion paper and recommended today by staff. $250,000 to fund the Career Exploration Internship RFA. $250,000 to fund the Foster Youth Internship RFA. $2 million to support the expansion of the Texas Internship Initiative, and $160,000 to support the enhancements to the Texas Internship Challenge website.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. The motion carries. This is agenda item 12, selection decision for AL Math Assistance Call Center.
Good afternoon. Joel Mullins with Workforce Development. Today we'll be presenting the selection decision for the AEL Math Assistance Call Center RFA. Briefly, the purpose of this RFA is to assist eligible AEL students with preparation for the mathematics portion of the Texas Certificate of High School Equivalency exam. Assistance shall also be available to AEL students who lack sufficient skills in mathematics to participate effectively in society. The RFA evaluation team reviewed 2 eligible applicants and selected one for the maximum available award of $500,000. The grant is anticipated to begin in March of 2025. That's all I have, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Comments or questions?
None here.
No questions. Is there a motion?
Chairman, I move that we approve the grant award for the Adult Education and Family Literacy Math Assistance Call Center totaling $500,000 as described in the discussion paper and recommended today by staff.
I second.
Motion carries. So agenda item 13, Chapter 133 Apprenticeship Training Program for FY 2025.
Good afternoon, Chairman Daniel, Commissioner Trevino, Commissioner Esparza, Mr. Sarna. For the record, Carrie Ballas, Workforce Development Division. At the July 2nd and 16th, 2024 commission meetings, staff brought forward discussion papers requesting supplemental funding to achieve a consistent contact hour rate for the Texas Education Code, Chapter 133, Apprenticeship Training Program. During these meetings, applications for fiscal year 2025 were being accepted. After receipt and processing of the applications, the request submitted confirmed that the program continues to grow at a rate that exceeds previous trends, and the supplemental funding approved in July needs to be further supplemented if the Commission wishes to maintain a consistent contact hour rate. In light of the program's continued growth, staff recommend use of pre-apprenticeship funding as described in your notebook materials to supplement the Chapter 133 program for fiscal year 2025. That concludes my remarks. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Comments or questions?
None here.
So this was money that was already put towards pre-apprenticeship, and we're utilizing it for to
Yes, sir.
strengthen the contract.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. Thank you. No further questions, no further comments.
So, I am very pleased with the growth in our traditional apprenticeship programs. I think we're seeing tremendously good growth in apprenticeship Texas across the board. I am getting very, very concerned that legislative intent works both ways. Legislature funded this at a certain amount, and we seem to be very concerned about running an open-ended program and then sticking to this sort of arbitrarily selected contract hour rate or whatever they call that.
Yes.
And this is the second time we've had to supplement this year's awards. So on the one hand, growth is good. On the other hand, legislature set a dollar amount for this. And no one said that, they think that this commission has been wrong for supplementing that, which we did several months ago. I mean, there's not been any direct criticism of us. I just think at some point, we really do have to be cognizant of the fact that the legislature took an action that is a law, and there is some legislative intent read into that. Maybe that's the dollar amount that they wanted. But again, I don't think that we've received any complaints from legislators or anybody else about what we're doing here. I think that we find ourselves in a unique situation where I think that your work, Desi's work, a lot of people's work, has finally come to fruition, and something that I've been trying to get off the ground in a meaningful way since 2015, now going to get off the ground. So that's a good thing. It's a catch-22 for me. I'm going to vote today for the proposal. I think the pre-apprentice funds was a good idea. We've used some for that. I don't think we're going to spend all of that money that we thought we might spend on pre-apprentice. And it is, as I understand it, apprenticeship money is apprenticeship money. It's all in the same account in the budget. We're the ones that kind of demarcate it for what we want to do. So it's apprenticeship money. It's eligible to be used for that. I think all of our other costs are covered. Here's what I would ask you to do, though. It doesn't have to be the next meeting, because I want you to take your time and do this right. But I'd like you to bring this commission an alternative structure for the apprenticeship program, where I just want to see what a scoring mechanism would look like. That's not an open-ended program, that the best applications each year get funded, and then others will continue to work to improve their applications so they can get funded. I don't even know if I want to vote for that. What I do want to do, though, is give it the due diligence that it deserves. We have a finite amount of funds for this. We have a program that we want to run. We have an exceptional item request before the legislature right now to increase the funding. I think we need to cover all of our bases. And I don't actually know where I would end up on that. I think we need to have the discussion and decide if we want to keep doing what we've been doing, do it different, or do something entirely new. But I don't want to starve the success, because I think we've seen good success, I think, for all the right reasons. And it has come together well. And we just can't keep chasing this arbitrary sort of, training hour rate because we decided that was a good rate, or somebody decided it was a good rate. And I think we need to bring a little more due diligence to this. And I know you guys are capable of doing that. Anything else on today's proposal? We do need a motion if there is one.
Chairman, I move that we approve the allocation of up to $1,530,000 in pre-apprenticeship funding to supplement the Texas Education Code Chapter 133 fiscal year 2025 apprenticeship training program contact hour rate as described in the discussion paper and recommended today by staff.
Second. You voting no?
I'm going to vote no.
Okay. How do you vote?
I vote yes.
Voting aye, voting aye,
Voting no.
voting no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Got it. This is agenda item 14, training to build workforce readiness skills initiative.
For the record, Carrie Ballast, Workforce Development Division. At its November 20th, 2024 work session, the Commission cited employers' challenges in the hiring and retention of workers who demonstrate strong workforce readiness skills, also known as soft skills. Development of these skills begins within our K-12 classrooms as students learn critical skills such as teamwork, problem solving, and communication. In recognition of the challenges shared by these employers, staff recommend use of $8 million in WIOA statewide funding awarded through a request for applications process. Successful applicants will be responsible for building partnerships across local education agencies, employers, and other community stakeholders for the development and support of training designed to build high school students' workforce readiness skills to meet the needs of their local employers. This concludes my remarks. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Comments or questions?
None here.
I've got a few questions, but I support this initiative. I will support it. But just for my education, how did we get to the 8 million mark? Is it an estimate on how many students that we can serve, or did we get these cost estimates from the LEA?
Yes, sir. As we're imagining it now, we would like to make multiple grants.
Okay.
From first number that we thought is possibly 4 grants of up to $2 million each. We see these as multi-year grants. The partnership building across the community will most likely take some time. And likewise, those who receive these grants will need to be sure that they are in sync with school calendars, which also sometimes takes time.
Okay.
So we wanted to give ample time and ample funding for these to take root and grow.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Almost every time I talk to a chamber group in the last 6 months, which would be 2 today, the employers who are in the group generally talk to me after the thing, which happened both times today. And they bring up the notion of there are plenty of people to work. There's not enough people that have the skills necessary to go to work. That's an interesting conversation. So I ask questions. I like to ask questions. And generally what they tell me is it's this very thing that you are proposing to do in this proposal. It's these very basic skills that I think a lot of us take for granted. I hope you guys will be innovative with this, and I hope you'll find a way to get good regional coverage. I have not been anywhere in the state that they don't tell me that this is the problem. I mean, like when I say basic things like don't eat other people's lunch out of the refrigerator, like you have to be there at the same time every day. And it's the time the employer told you you needed to be there. You know, don't get off your phone during work. I mean, it's things that like we presume that people would know. Apparently that's a bad presumption. So I hope that's the kind of things we're solving, plus other types of necessary job skills. I think there's a lot of both hard skills and soft skills here. You know, I think what we end up with is just some necessary skills that people need to go to work. And while they tend to get labeled, I think a lot of times soft skills, it is significantly more than that. And I hope they get packaged together accordingly. These are absolutely necessary skills for people to have. Any other comments or questions? Is there a motion?
Chairman, I move that we approve the development of a grant application utilizing $8 million in WIOA statewide funds for the development, implementation, and support of workforce development training for high school students enrolled in CTE programs, as described in the discussion paper and recommended today by staff.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. The motion carries. This is agenda item 15, Upskill Texas program.
For the record, Carrie Ballas, Workforce Development Division. Rounding the bases, coming home. Last one for me. At its November 20th, 2024 work session, the commission noted previous success of the Upskill Texas initiative. The Upskill Texas pilot program was developed in fiscal year 2023 and based on the number of applicants was well received by Texas employers. While $5 million in WIOA statewide funds were set aside for the pilot, TWC received almost $20 million in funding requests. Of the 52 applications received, 16 grants were awarded. In light of the interest shown during the first round of Upskill Texas, staff recommends $5 million in WIOA statewide funds be allocated for a second round of Upskill Texas applications. Funds will be used to upskill employees in response to Texas's continuously growing and evolving workforce and to ensure employers have the skilled workforce they need. This concludes my remarks. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Comments or questions?
None here.
Are there any money that are carried over from the program? Anything
No, sir.
was all used?
Mhm.
Great. Let's get more.
Is there a
Thank you.
motion?
Chairman, I move that we approve the allocation of $5 million in WIOA statewide funds to the Upskill Texas program as described in the discussion paper and recommended today by staff.
I second.
Been moved and seconded. The motion carries. Thank you. It's agenda item 16, board nominations.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Cerna. For the record, my name is Dawn Cronin with the Workforce Development Division. Today, for your consideration, we have Workforce Board nominations for Workforce Solutions Concho Valley, Deep East Texas, Gulf Coast, and North Texas. Staff recommends approval of these nominations, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
Any comments or questions?
None here.
No question.
Is there a motion?
Chairman, I move that we approve the local workforce development board member nominees presented today for the following: Workforce Solutions, Concho Valley, Deep East Texas, Gulf Coast, and North Texas.
I second.
Been moved to second, motion carries.
Thank you.
Is there an executive director's report today?
No, sir, no executive director's report and no legislative
No, I
reports.
noticed.
Since it's afternoon, it's, throws them off, I think.
They couldn't find their way to the meeting, room, is what you're
Something
saying?
like that, yeah.
Something like that. They're probably busy over at the Capitol or something. Maybe. Is there any other order of business come before the commission?
Nothing here.
Nope.
None.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Chairman, I move to adjourn.
I second.
It's been moved to second to adjourn, and we're adjourned.